Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. We got a brand new courtroom and a no-nonsense judge to break down. The main case features a Karen who pushed things way too far, repeatedly threatening her own family until it crossed into criminal harassment. And trust me, this judge doesn't play around. She runs her courtroom with absolute authority. Before we dive into the main case, I'll show you a few clips I came across while researching, just to give you a taste of how strict yet fair she really is. Let's get into it.
This is Leah Chavez, 22T1470. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. And then probation is here on this one. Okay, probation want to tell me what's going on with Mrs. Chavez?
Yes, Ms. Chavez. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to recommend, that we close it out unsuccessfully.
Okay, so it looks like she did not submit to 26 UAs.
Correct.
She didn't get her treatment done. And she missed probation appointments. And she didn't report to sober living. Okay? And so you just want me to close it out with
With jail.
with jail.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And we have an agreement with the DA to revoke and close this unsuccessful with 60 days jail, and that's what Ms. Chavez would like to do today.
60 days with all of that. And this is the first?
I believe it is.
She's looking at up to 364 days of jail. She did not stay in communication with probation. She didn't do UAs, which tells me she probably was under the influence. She didn't do any treatment. I mean, honestly, it usually takes at least 10 months to do the treatment that she was, actually more than 10 months. And she got level 2 and 86, which makes me think that this was not a first DUI.
This was a 2022 case, so this one's been going on for a while.
So the 22 case, we're now in 3 years later, and we're gonna give her 60 days when she had essentially almost 3 years to get this done. I would commit a DUI if I could only get 60 days and I didn't do anything. And I didn't know UAs and I did nothing. And then I didn't go to sleep. I did nothing and potentially was drinking and having a good time for 3 years.
But one good thing, she did complete her community service. She did that back.
She did community service. She had level 2 and 86. Community service was only 48 hours. You do community service in 48 hours of your sleep. She didn't show up to probation, which is the easiest thing in the world to do. She didn't go to sober living. She didn't do any treatment, and she didn't show up for a UA. And she gets 60 days? No, thank you. I'm not taking that. I do think jail is appropriate, but 60 days is not enough. Go back to the drawing table. Don't ask me about it. You can leave it open to me, or you come up with something better than 60 days. But when you do all of that, which means you essentially did nothing, no. And it's 3 years old? No. 6 days, not enough.
Your Honor, there's 2 updates I'd like to give you on this case. Defendant did have 1 prior DUI from 2017.
Oh, surprise. Oh, no.
And her BAC in the first one was .212. Also, she had 86 hours of UPS in this case.
Yep, no. Y'all go back to the drawing board. I'm not doing some crazy back. We're on a second. And we didn't do nothing? Oh, no. Next, investigation. Have we figured something out?
Yes, Your Honor, I've spoken with Ms. Graham and Ms. Chavez, and we've come to an agreement to revoke and close unsuccessful with 300 days jail.
With who?
300 days.
That works. The court is accepting your admission to your violation of probation. Court is closing out your case unsuccessfully with 300 days of jail. Good luck to you.
You're out on probation and suddenly learn that jail time could be on the horizon. I don't want to make this judge seem like a total hardliner. She definitely holds people accountable, but she also shows real compassion and fairness, as you'll see in the next few clips.
What do you want to do, Mr. Boyd? Because you have a class 2 misdemeanor, so what do you want to do with that? How are you going to handle that? Are you going to represent yourself?
Yeah, I'm represent myself now.
Have you talked to the military about how this would impact you if you were convicted? Yes. Because it could end your career. You sure you don't want to get representation?
Yeah, I get representation. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm looking at you, and the reason I'm saying this to you, sir, is because my father was an officer of the military, and he was over a lot of airmen and things like this can get you in your military career if it goes the wrong way for you. So I think you should probably apply to the public defender's office at the very least and find out if you qualify. Okay? Why did they do this case too? 25F5162.
I don't
I
know.
gotta understand why the division didn't handle all of her DD cases and wrap them all in deferred.
Your Honor, it's because they moved the case from the district court to here.
That makes zero sense to me. Because Division 1 should have handled all of her DD cases. All of those cases that she got the deferred sentence on were DD cases, probably involving the same victim. So it makes zero sense that she had a public defender, probably in felony court, that didn't get this case wrapped in with the other cases. That makes zero sense to me.
I'm not sure if she pled guilty.
She did plead guilty.
I don't know if it's a deferred sentence or not.
So that's what I understand. Like, to me, it makes zero sense that she pled guilty on 3 DB cases literally this week, and they didn't take care of the last one.
I agree. And the notes say that we're on notice to address bond today in this case, in county court. I don't know.
This just doesn't make any, and is it the same victim on all 3 cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's incompetence.
I'll talk to the DA in that division.
That's absolute incompetence on both sides. Ms. Woolton got screwed over.
We agree.
This is my branch.
They told me.
But if they're going to give you and plead you on all your cases but at least one, and then have me handle it, that makes zero sense. But they're willing to give you the first on those, then I don't know why they didn't just wrap this one in there too.
I don't believe it was a deferred sentence. I'm looking at the plea agreement right now.
It doesn't matter what it was. They should have wrapped this in it. It's incompetence. I'm giving you a PR bond because this is ridiculous.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. The judge is just dumb. I'm gonna keep it real honest with you. You are young, okay? I like the fact that you've got a job set up, and I like the fact that you're going to school. What I don't like is that you're driving. It is clear to me, and it should be crystal clear to you, that you don't have a driver's license. You take a bus, an Uber, or get a ride. But if you get another case, understand, you will stay in custody for a long time. I will find you be, don't talk. I'm talking. I will find you be in direct contempt of a court order. And I will bring you in on contempt charges. And you will stay in custody. You understand me?
I'm not even on trial, and I get it. So I know you will too. Now that you understand the judge is both fair and strict, it's time to get to the main event. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Aura. In the past few months, major data breaches have made headlines. Farmers Insurance in May 2025, Alone's Life in July, and in August, both TransUnion and Google were hit. If you're watching this on your YouTube account, there's a chance your personal info could be floating around the dark web. That's where Aura comes in. Their credit reporting and monitoring alerts you immediately if your information appears online. They even have a credit lock feature that prevents anyone, even you, from opening a credit account without unlocking it first. I can attest to how strong this protection is. Last year, on one of my world adventures, I got declined for a travel credit card. Not because of my score, but because I forgot to turn off my credit lock. Aura's protection stopped even me from accessing my own account. That's the kind of security I want for myself and my family. Protect yourself by going to aura.com/teamcoepic and get 14 days free. Enough time for Aura to scan the web and let you know if your information has been compromised. Huge thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now, this trial went over 6 hours, so I won't show everything, just the key moments, like her crashing out in front of the judge. First up, mid-trial, when the judge had to warn our Karen defendant that her behavior would not fly in front of the jury. After that, we'll skip straight to sentencing who's ready to watch a Karen get arrested in court. Let's dive in.
A couple of conversations I need to have. My first with you, Mrs. Walker. Ms. Walker, you have to control yourself, okay? You cannot have these outbursts that you're having. I'm trying very much not to pay attention to you because I fear that if I pay attention to you, that I will draw attention to you that I don't want to draw, okay? The jury is watching. You need to control yourself, okay? If you cannot control yourself,
Sorry,
Miss- Miss, I understand, Ms. Walker, I understand. Ms. Walker, I understand. Listen, Ms. Walker, I understand. that this is highly emotional for you and there's a lot of emotions going on with you. But I am requiring for you to control yourself. If you cannot control yourself, then I will have to use other means. And I do not want to use those means to control you, okay? So you're gonna have to control yourself. All right. So a couple of things I want to talk to you about before you take a lunch break. Before you go on a lunch break, it probably will be good for you to have a little lunch. Everybody have a seat. Let's have the arguments.
Yes, Your Honor. The people would be asking for the defendant to be remanded today for 60 days. Then we'd ask for 1 year of supervised probation with a mental health evaluation and substance abuse evaluation. We'd ask for the defendant to comply with recommendations from both evaluations. The defendant's behavior since the verdict over the last 15 minutes has been very concerning to the people. The defendant, I heard her say she said fuck, shit, goddamn 1,000 times, not 1,000 times, but probably close to 100 times. She was yelling in the hallway. I asked counsel if they needed assistance with the deputy to help keep her under control. They said they didn't. She called the victim a bitch. She said, fuck that bitch. She also said, thank God my mom isn't here because I would have killed that bitch. The defendant's disrespect for this court and lack of remorse is concerning for the people. The victim is concerned for her own safety after this verdict. And so we'd also ask for a no contact order between the victim and the defendant. We are very concerned for the victim's safety and for the safety of this family.
Okay. And then what's her criminal?
Controlled substance F4, and I think she has a couple of misdemeanor convictions within the state. I can pull them up real quick, but I looked at them earlier today.
All right.
She has several charges for. Sorry, let me look it up.
All right. And Mrs. Taylor, did you want to address the court in any way as the alleged victim? You can come on out. The deputies are here, so you're safe.
Honestly, I just want my sister to get help. I don't want any contact with her or have her close to my home or anything like that. I just want her to get help and to stay away from me and from my home and from my children, including my niece who's been living with me for 3 years.
Okay. And how old is your niece?
She's 19.
She's 19.
Well, she'll be 19 on
She'll be 19.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And in terms of what you know about your sister, when you say she needs help, does she have like some mental?
I think it's undiagnosed, honestly. When she's not in this state of mind, she's like this group's person, but then she just, anything sets her off, and it's a nonstop situation of calls, voicemail, text messages, not only to me, but to her own daughter, degrading, disrespect, driving her lives, disrespecting, threatening our lives, threatening my children's lives who are 8, 7, and 2. I work from home, and my husband's always scared to even leave because then it's like, how am I supposed to protect when I'm not there? So.
What kind of person puts their family in constant fear, afraid to even leave their own home, terrified for what might happen to their children?
Okay.
But that's what we're at.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Mrs. Jacobs, your argument? Mrs. Walker, I'll give you a chance to talk when I get there.
Okay, we'll get there. So Ms. Walker has been working at In-N-Out for about a year and also works at the Hilton. So she's working 2 jobs right now. She's been doing the Hilton for a couple of months. And she's still experiencing homelessness, but she's been trying really hard to get back on her feet. In-N-Out is willing to transfer her and help pay for moving expenses. So she's been hoping to keep up working both jobs for a while, and she's been saving. Because she does want to move away from this area and move away from the troubles she feels she's been experiencing with her family. It's my understanding that In-N-Out gave her the okay to move anytime, but she's been staying because she's been wanting to get this case resolved. So she's really hoping to get out of the area to be able to get her life on track, away from her family, and kind of start over. And jail would set her back in that progress that she's been making. I also believe jail is not warranted. I understand the jury found her guilty, but at the end of the day, this case was about a voicemail. She's not charged with and not convicted of a violent crime. And it seemed to have arisen from an argument over her daughter's care, who is now 18 years old and a legal adult. So I believe conflict over her daughter's care is unlikely to repeat itself since she's legally able to care for herself. In particular, I did not hear her say anything, any kind of threats about killing her mom, and I was sitting there in the hallway with her. So I don't know if she misheard it, but I don't think all of that was accurate.
Okay.
We are asking for a year of unsupervised probation with the mental health evaluation and treatment, which was the last offer on this case. And I believe based on our investigators' conversations with Ms. Taylor and with Ms. Walker's mom, and based on what Ms. Taylor said, I think help is really what her family was hoping for. So I think mental health is more appropriate. I believe asking for jail at this time after we went to trial is something of a trial tax in this situation. And so we are asking for just the probationary period and the mental health evaluation.
Yes, Your Honor. I just pulled up the defendant's record. She has 2 guilty pleas and violation of protection order in 2 different cases. They were felony cases, but they were reduced down to violation of protection order. She also has a guilty plea to an M1 menacing, and that's what I could find. I also heard the defendant say in the hallway that if she gets supervised probation, that she's leaving the state.
That's a solid reason to deny her probation. And honestly, I don't know what she was thinking. Leaving the state doesn't stop a warrant. And it certainly doesn't mean another state won't arrest you and send you back.
Mrs. Walker, anything you'd like to say?
I just think it's a bunch of BS because I called DHS and they were the ones who told me to keep calling until you go home with your daughter. I just got into a car accident September 1st. I found out that my Medicaid was out. So I needed my daughter's birth certificate, social security card, which my mom should not have had in the first place. I only gave it to my daughter so that she could get a job. That is the reason why I was calling. I was not calling for any other issue. Not that I had a problem with her. I was specifically calling for my daughter's birth certificate and social security card. My family has been taunting me with my child for years. And they are doing that so that I can't spend time with my child. So they keep putting me in a worse situation. I just got a car. That's why my sister's here. Because in February, she's texting me. Oh, sorry. In May, let me sit next to you. My daughter's graduation, she sat right next to me. And she's here in August. So she was never scared, never afraid. They've always been in my face. It is me against them. And they are taunting me so that they can keep me away from my child. And I'm fed up with it. They've allowed my daughter to disrespect me. And when I go to them about it, it doesn't matter. But as soon as my daughter disrespects them, it's game time. So they allow my daughter to disrespect me and thought it was funny. That's what she's talking about. They're sitting up there right next to my daughter while she's calling me bitches and this and that because she's upset. And they're just laughing. We'll just see what she does. I called my sister specifically to get my daughter's birth certificate. Sorry.
She can't answer. There's my
To get my daughter's birth certificate and social security card so that we can get her Medicaid. Someone had just T-boned me, and I did not know that we did not have insurance. And I couldn't afford insurance at the time. So I slept in my car from September to November in pain with nothing. I couldn't even go to the doctor. So I'm working in pain after a car accident. I had no car, no nothing. So it was up to me if I was just gonna sit there and die or get up and do something. And they keep taunting me. Every time I get a little bit ahead, let's do something else. Let's do something else. Let's do something else. Let's do something else. They had a graduation party with my daughter's father in, May?
Yeah.
They got it all on Facebook and everything like that, trying to taunt me. That's not okay. You're starting more problems. You're not scared. If you're scared, then you're scared. How are you scared and starting more stuff? And then I just seen them at Burlington. My mom was like, Chelsea. I turned my back towards her. She called my name again, and I gave her a hug. But it's lies. She's just here because she's not having a good day.
Are you really going to say she's there just because she's having a bad day? Or is it more likely she's there because you threatened her husband, her kids, and even her mother?
But this happened in September of last year, and I've talked to you multiple times since then. So that's not okay to me. And I went to before I even called her phone, I was calling DHS like, they have my child. They're not answering. Every time I need something important for my daughter, they like to ignore me. It could be simple as a doctor's appointment. They will not budge. They will not budge. So I feel like, why does my daughter, that's why I said I wish my daughter was with DHS in that voicemail, because I wouldn't have to go through this. Yeah. I'm not going to go through hoops over doctor's appointments, Medicaid, and all that stuff. My daughter's just living there. She still doesn't have health insurance. They're not doing anything about it. So if something happens to my daughter right now, who's going to pay for it? She is. She's my daughter is.
Okay.
Because they won't allow, you know what I mean? They're blocking, just hiding. I'm fed up. I don't know. It's just.
I understand, Ms. Walker. This is the thing. I really had hoped, hearing what the offer was unsupervised probation with mental health. I really wish you had taken that offer, because I do think you need some treatment. But the problem that I'm having with you, Mrs. Walker, is a couple of things. Mm-hmm. I watched you during this trial, and I think I had to admonish you during this trial about the things that you were saying under your breath and the things that you were being aggressive about. Yeah. There was a concern. And how you were doing yourself a disservice in this very trial.
Yeah, because I've been through a lot.
Ms. Walker, I'm talking now.
I'm just tired of it.
Ms. Walker, I'm talking now. Mm-hmm. And I understand that you're tired of it. But there's a way that you have to respond. And there's a way that you have to act.
Like I just had
that allows you to not have to have police interference. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, not only in that voicemail did you talk about your daughter, but you also said some things about wishing harm on people and wanting to continuously, essentially, Ms. Walker, you're the one on trial. They're not. And that's the problem, is that I don't think you have any understanding of what your actions were and the ramifications of your actions and how your actions has caused distress on your sister. Okay, Ms. Walker, I'm not going to be interrupted again. If you want to interrupt me again, that's fine. I'll have you removed from this courtroom and I'll sentence you without you being present. And then your lawyer will have to come down to the jail and tell you how much jail I gave you. But do not interrupt me again. This is the problem, Ms. Walker, is you need help. You need anger management. You need mental health. I don't know if substance abuse is your issue or not. I really don't know. But I don't think it's a bad idea for you to do a substance abuse evaluation, because maybe your mental health is tied to that. I don't know. But what I do know is I do think it's appropriate for you to do some jail. And I'm concerned that after you were sentenced, I'm not upset about the fact that you were being upset. A lot of people would be upset that they were convicted of the charge that you were convicted of. The problem that I have is that the words that you said after you were convicted and the statements of potential threats to other people again. And so that tells me that after you have gone through a trial of a full day where you were accused of threatening your sister, that you didn't really quite get anything from that experience in terms of remorse. And so I do think it's appropriate for you to do jail. I am going to put you on supervised probation. I think it's appropriate to put you on supervised probation for a year. I am going to require a mental health evaluation for you to follow recommendations of that evaluation. I'm going to require a substance abuse evaluation for you to follow recommendations of that as well. I do think it's appropriate for you to do anger management course. In addition, I am going to give you jail. I am going to give you jail of 20 days.
Well, I'm going to lose my job. I just got my car. I'm going to lose that.
It's almost like actions actually have consequences. As I showed earlier, this judge can be compassionate toward people in tough situations. And she's about to try to show some here. But of course, Karen is about to ruin it all in an instant.
It's fine. And I'm hopeless. I don't have anybody else to help.
I understand that, ma'am.
So I'm going to lose everything, and then I'm going to be out, and then nothing's going to change. You guys are putting my daughter in a worse situation now.
I've given you the sentence.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
and you work for this. What, Ms. Walker? I'm asking you a question. I need you to stop interrupting me. Mm-hmm. What days of the week do you work?
I work. It's random.
It's
For
random. Do you work full
Sunday.
time? Are you a full-time worker?
I work 32 hours at In and Out and then 12 hours on the,
But then this is my question to you, because I don't necessarily want you to lose your job. I'm willing to give you that time as weekend jail, but you're gonna go into custody.
yeah, I
Okay.
can't.
And so I don't know if
understand.
you can do it on the weekend and you don't work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but you're going into custody, ma'am. If you want to do a portion of it as in-home detention, I'm amenable to that. But I think you need to do some time.
I don't, because you guys don't understand.
Well, then I'm
I
not
just have to
happy.
say one thing.
So it's gonna
No, I
be
just
20
wanted
days
to-
in jail. I'm not gonna do weekend jail anymore. I'm not gonna give you that
I
option.
just wanted to say
And now
something
you're
because
gonna-
I'm always being treated bad. Okay?
I'm not treating you
So
bad,
this
ma'am. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. And I was trying to work it out. I was trying to work something out with you so you didn't lose your job. And instead, what you want to do is continue to interrupt me and tell me about how you're a victim.
No,
What I
I'm
was
not
trying
saying
to-
that I'm
what
a
I was
victim.
trying
I'm
to
just
do
saying.
now, what I was trying to do was give you an option so that you didn't have to get remanded today. And you're not giving me that option. So I'm taking away that option now, remanding you for 20 days. When you get out of custody, you report to probation within 24 hours. Supervised probation is for a year.
Wait, hold tight. Your Honor, Ms. Walker does want to appeal this case. So under Rule 37F and 16(2)1146, we are requesting a stay of execution on.
She can have a stay of execution, but she's going to jail today for how she behaved.
So, Your Honor, hold on a second. I don't think you could just take her into jail today for how she behaved. What's the basis for that?
The basis is her behavior and the way that she behaved in this courtroom and her lodging threats afterwards. So I'm absolutely taking her into custody.
I don't understand though. Is this a new?
It doesn't matter if you don't understand.
I think
I'm
we-
finding her in contempt of court.
I just wanted to.
And so I am taking her into custody. I also am concerned for the victim in this case and the witness. Potential witness was going to be Vanessa, who is the mom, who she made a threat against in the hallway. So I am taking her into custody.
Give me just a minute, Your Honor. I think there's a record that needs to be made about the contempt situation. I'm just pulling up my documents on that.
We can address this on Friday. I'm gonna take her into custody. We can address your record in terms of contempt on Friday at 8:30. But I'm taking her into custody.
No, Your Honor, I think, hold on. Let me just find it.
I really want to avoid jail. It's just not, it's not gonna work.
I just literally had someone file a false police report of me last week.
Ma'am, I want you to get help. I really do.
Saying that I literally was doing nothing. Okay, I'm homeless, so on my days off, I go get a hotel when I'm down to sleep because I get tired of sleeping in my car.
I really want to help you.
So what I was doing, all I was doing was taking a picture of myself. Someone called and said that I pushed it. So the cops came
I
out.
put it on Thursday at 8:30. That's awesome.
And so I've been dealing with a lot of this. And what I'm saying is that my stepdad has also lied to the police in my face. While the police were there, and they didn't charge me, they told me I had to stay, that my mom could not put me out for another 30 days because they didn't see any of the things that's happening. So what's happening is that I'm being falsely accused of a lot of things that should not be right. Like, she shouldn't have my daughter.
Ma'am, I'm not here to discuss your daughter. I'm here to discuss the conviction that you just got.
Exactly. So what I'm saying,
Outside of my courtroom.
I just don't think that this is fair. I just don't think it's fair because I've been going through a lot and it's just me.
Your Honor,
I understand.
which element of?
It's just me by myself working 2 jobs, trying to stay off the streets, and you're trying to put me in a worse situation.
Ma'am,
Talk about taking zero responsibility. The judge isn't sending you anywhere. You did this to yourself. And now you're the one who has to face the consequences, whether you like it or not. I think it's about time the judge served some lady justice and checked this Karen into her new residence at the Steel Bar Motel.
you have an attorney. I'm asking you to not speak anymore. Ms. Jacobs?
I'm just like, Your Honor, can you make a record about if this is a direct or indirect contempt and which statute you're doing it under?
Or can you please just give me
I'm making it a record that this is indirect contempt.
I can't, you know what I mean? In and out to good company, and I
I have already acknowledged and had admonished her prior to the jury being dismissed or after the jury was dismissed for lunch about her behavior. She continued to make threats to have inappropriate behavior outside of the courtroom. She has interrupted this particular court when this court has asked her to please stop. She's still interrupting me at this very moment.
all I said was that.
And so the court has tried over and over again to work with Mrs. Walker, and Ms. Walker is not doing it. And so the problem is that we're having here is that she is continuing to defy the court's orders. Court's orders to continue to be quiet. I've asked her over and over again not to speak. She is in direct violation of the court's order to be quiet, to have decorum in this courtroom, and she is not having it. So I am finding her in contempt of court. And I am taking her into custody. We can bring this back onto the docket on Thursday at 8:30 to discuss her sentencing and the continuation of her sentencing and your record for appeal. But I am finding her to be in contempt.
I have no one else to take my card at the.
Yep. Until Thursday. On Thursday, we can argue bond.
Not fair. This is not fair.
What Thursday docket? What's the last thing we have on Thursday?
This is not fair.
I believe, Your Honor, under the indirect contempt statute, you have to make a separate citation, and the person has to get a special hearing for that.
Well, then I'm gonna make it direct contempt then, because she is in direct contempt. I have told her over and over again to stop arguing me, to have decorum in this courtroom, and she has not had it. So let's do it at,
So I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah, she's been directed to.
Because.
so let's say, ma'am, deputy, you have her vote. I will make it my record. I am not gonna continue to be interrupted. She's
No,
not
I'm just saying, I'm gonna lose my jobs, and I'm.
Ma'am, and I am aware of that, and I tried to work with you. We are done. Let's do it at 10. 10, she's gonna be held with no bond till, we're gonna have a reset on the docket at 10 o'clock on Thursday. We'll have a bond argument, and we're going to discuss the rest of her sentence. Perhaps after having some cooling off period, we can have that conversation. Yeah.
So just like, you're gonna repeat it on Thursday, or what do you?
No, I mean, this is the thing. It's the same sentence. It's gonna be the 20 days. It's gonna be the mental health. It's gonna be the substance abuse. It's gonna be supervised probation. It's gonna be anger management. That sentence has happened. I stayed that sentence because she's pending appeal. What we're gonna discuss on Thursday is whether she continues to stay in custody based on direct contempt,
Okay,
and allowing you to make a bar argument about that.
I think we can't represent the clients on contempt proceedings.
Okay.
I believe we'd have to appoint ADC.
All right, I'll have somebody here for ADC.
Okay. Are you just gonna appoint them, or?
Houston's here on Thursday, so I'll have Houston do it.
Okay. Should I file something, or you just appoint him?
No, I'm gonna appoint him.
Okay.
He's here at 8:30, so let's just set her at 8:30. Because we'll lose Houston. And we're done.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Graham, you might want to make Ms. Taylor aware that there is a process to get a temporary protection order if she feels like she
We'll let her know.
has a situation.
Thank you.
Her and her mom. All right, first thing recess.
All right. So she was sentenced to 20 days, which if she stopped talking for just 20 seconds, this could have been handled at home, and she could have kept her jobs. But nope, she had to run her crayon eater routine. Now, not only is she facing 20 days in jail, she also has a fresh contempt of court sentence hanging over her. They even tried to bring her out of her cell a few days later for sentencing, but this happened.
I was gonna appoint you to Mrs. Walker
Yeah.
on a contempt case. I took her in because she directly violated, she was sentenced yesterday, no, 2 days ago, Tuesday, she was convicted on a harassment case. I had sentenced her to 20 days of jail, anger management, mental health evaluation, substance abuse evaluation, and supervised probation. And then I also want to add on there that there was no contact with the victim. She's not alleged, she was convicted, with the victim on that. I stayed that sentence because the PD's office is appealing. But her contempt sentence, I was trying to get to, and she wouldn't stop talking and having issues. So I just took her in on no bond, set her today this morning to talk about the contempt sentence, and to potentially talk about bond. Apparently she refused to get dressed, refused to follow directions, and threatened the deputies. So that's why she's not here today. So she'll continue to stay on a no bond, and perhaps tell her and advise her that as she continues to threaten people, those are charges that potentially could be served against her, and she could go to additional jail. And she's still pending a competency or a contempt sentencing.
Looks like her nightmare is just getting started. She was eventually released, probably after serving her 20 days. But just a month later, she was back in court facing a new arraignment for stalking, with new victims, allegedly spanning over 19 years. When that trial wraps up, I'll bring the full dumpster fire straight to you. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If not, hit dislike. But don't forget to comment below and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss my content.